Have you ever noticed something strange? Two people can earn exactly the same salary. One slowly builds wealth, investments, and financial freedom. The other spends every paycheck, lives under constant stress, and somehow always feels broke. The difference isn't always intelligence, it isn't luck, and surprisingly, it isn't even income. The real difference begins with something invisible, a completely different way of thinking about money. Today, we're going to explore the mental models that separate people who build wealth from people who only chase it. And one of these ideas is so simple that you'll probably wonder why nobody ever explained money this way before. Let's begin. Imagine giving two people $10,000. The first immediately starts thinking about what they can buy: a new phone, a vacation, designer clothes, maybe a nicer car. The second asks a completely different question. How can this money create even more money? Same amount, completely different brain. This is one of the biggest mindset shifts wealthy people develop. Most people see money as something to consume. Wealthy people see money as an employee. Every dollar has a job. If that dollar isn't working, it's wasting time. It's almost like hiring someone and telling them to sleep for the next 20 years. Sounds ridiculous, right? Yet millions of dollars sit idle every single day because people never learn that money can actually work while they sleep. And that's only the beginning, because the next difference changes almost every financial decision rich people make. Most people focus on the price. Rich people focus on value. Imagine two people looking at a $500 course. One immediately says, "That's too expensive." The other asks, "Can this knowledge help me earn $5,000 later?" See the difference? The first person only sees today's cost. The second sees tomorrow's return. This doesn't mean every expensive purchase is smart. Far from it. In fact, wealthy people often spend weeks researching before making major decisions. But when something genuinely increases their skills, health, relationships, or income, they don't see it as spending. They see it as investing, because they understand something most people overlook. Cheap decisions often become expensive later, and expensive decisions sometimes become the cheapest option you'll ever make. Hold on to that thought, because the next mindset explains why some people become richer during difficult times while everyone else panics. When uncertainty appears, most people freeze. Headlines become terrifying, markets fall, fear spreads. People rush to protect what they have. Wealthy investors also notice the fear, but instead of asking, "What if I lose?" they often ask, what opportunities are everyone else too scared to see? Now, this doesn't mean taking reckless risks. It means understanding that fear creates discounts. History repeatedly shows that periods of panic have often created enormous opportunities for patient investors. Think about it. If your favorite store announced a 70% sale, would you run away? Probably not. Yet, when quality investments become cheaper, many people suddenly become terrified. Funny how our brains celebrate discounts at the mall, but fear discounts in financial markets. Our psychology is fascinating and honestly a little dramatic. Here's another difference that's almost invisible. Most people try to look rich. Rich people often try to become rich. Those sound similar, but they're not. Looking wealthy is surprisingly easy. Luxury brands, flashy cars, expensive vacations shared across social media. But appearing successful and actually building wealth are completely different games. Many expensive lifestyles are quietly financed by debt. Meanwhile, some millionaires wear ordinary clothes, drive reliable cars, and quietly invest the difference. Because they understand delayed gratification. They don't ask, "What can I afford today?" They ask, "What lifestyle will my future self thank me for?" That single question changes everything. And speaking of the future, there's another habit that quietly compounds into millions over time. Most people think in months. Rich people think in decades. Imagine planting an oak tree. You don't dig it up every weekend to check whether it's growing. You trust the process. Investing works similarly. Wealth is rarely built through dramatic moments. It's built through boring consistency, regular investing, continuous learning, patient decision-making, and small improvements repeated for years. Not exactly exciting, which is probably why so few people stick with it. Everyone wants overnight success. Almost nobody wants overnight discipline repeated for 15 years. Ironically, that's usually where success hides. Let's challenge another common belief. Many people think wealthy individuals love money. Actually, most wealthy people love freedom far more. Money simply becomes the tool, the freedom to choose where to live, who to work with, when to travel, how to spend time, and what projects deserve attention. Money itself isn't the destination. Choice is. Once you understand this, financial decisions become surprisingly clear. Instead of buying things to impress strangers, you begin investing toward a life that genuinely belongs to you. Because the greatest luxury isn't a sports car, it's owning your time. Now here's one of the most misunderstood lessons. Rich people don't avoid mistakes, they expect them. Every entrepreneur fails. Every investor loses money sometimes. Every successful career includes painful setbacks. The difference isn't avoiding failure, it's making sure failure becomes tuition instead of tragedy. Average thinking says, I lost money, I'm terrible at this. Wealth-building thinking says, what lesson did I just purchase? That mindset transforms setbacks into assets because experience often pays the highest long-term returns. Before we finish, let's connect everything we've discussed. Rich people don't magically receive different opportunities. They simply process money through different mental filters. They ask better questions. They prioritize assets over appearances. They value time over status. They invest before they spend. They think years ahead instead of weekends ahead. Most importantly, they understand that wealth is usually the result of thousands of ordinary decisions rather than one extraordinary event. No secret formula. No hidden shortcut. Just better thinking repeated consistently. And here's the surprising part. None of these ideas require you to already be wealthy. They only require you to start thinking like someone who is building wealth. Because income may determine how much money enters your life, but mindset often determines how much stays. So here's a question worth thinking about after this video. Are your financial decisions helping today's version of you or the person you hope to become 5 years from now? That answer might shape your future more than your next paycheck ever will. If you enjoyed this video and learned something valuable, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's serious about building real wealth. And if you're ready to understand even more hidden psychology behind money, success, and human behavior, check out the next video on your screen. It might completely change the way you think.